on the noun side where they're thinking we should be getting this in the bag. These rounds in this map should always be in our favor. But that's what happens as an underdog. If you can get some of these rounds and start to dig into the confidence, maybe you can cause an upset. But it's going to be a really tall task here, Laz. I'm excited to get into Ancient and see what this brand new M80 lineup has to offer with Lake, and whether E-Xolos LAZER can rise up to the task.
Yeah, and I mean, it's going to be important too, because again, I think, you know, if E-Xolos LAZER has been able to do some homework and some studying, there's been lots of footage for M80 playing on this map. I mean, obviously, most recently playing against the Mongols. I mean, that's where M80 actually did lose that game, which was a 13-8 loss. So, but that's the other thing, the other side of the coin of this is, you know, M80 like adapting, and when they lose a game, like how much they're able to, you know, pick up the pieces and rebuild. And that's always a really cool thing to see with this group. But yeah, time will tell now. It is the CT side to start here for Laser. And you can see the dualies here in the hands of Moth, just waiting. He gets a little bit too excited, but that flash is definitely going to be able to pan out nicely, but it's only one kill. So now the Glocks, they've been able to find themselves some kind of an opening. Look at how easy this is for M80 to get themselves in this site. They're going to press on forward. Look at Lake. A quick little bit of a jiggle. He might be able to find himself a quick duel, but he's only got 11 bullets. Running low, but he's at least going to be able to find this kill. And now his teammates, they're falling down as well. And Paladin, this is just looking like an absolute massacre right now with W1 by himself. And yeah, M80 take it pretty much by storm.
That's a picturesque pistol round there from M80. I mean, every bit of utility used in that round had a purpose. You have the cave, or the, sorry, not the cave smoke. You've got the short smoke coming down on the left side of that B bomb site to cordon off the rotations to come into long. And then you've got a molly to push them basically into one position and one position alone. They're stuck on that long side, and they have to duel into Lake's dual Berettas, and he's just so intelligent to be up close and personal there. That is just textbook work there from the T side, and they just run E-Xolos LAZER around that bomb site. Very, very well done. And now, with the second round saved pretty much from E-Xolos LAZER, and that Zeus not working out, this is going to be a tough round to ask for them here.
Yeah, and there's a bit of a stack on this too, but again, you got to remember they have the USPs. It actually is going to work out nice here for Danico, but it's a question of, you know, can they be able to find maybe another kill? Just again, just depleting any sort of guns as much as possible. Not going to be the case, but honestly, not a bad effort. I mean, E-Xolos LAZER had a decent idea. They actually went for the triple player in Donut, just having one player in A main like that. So they had the right idea in terms of numbers, but M80 doing a really good job, just kind of, you know, checking all corners and all the different spots. And honestly, that Zeus not connecting was probably a bit of a miracle, because it was pretty tight here, Paladin.
Yeah, that's for sure. Well, the guns will come out for LAZER. There will be no op for Landon, unfortunately. And Moth will be relegated down to that FAMAS. But M80 now on this buy round wants to get aggressive with these SMGs. Sin is out of middle straight away. Flash from W1 is immaculate, though. And Dinoco will line himself up for 2. And that's exactly the start that you would look for on this first buy round for the CT side. Really put the pressure on M80 to try and make this bonus round work, or at least do some damage at the very least.
Yeah, I love that, though. That's really good coordination in the mid control from the CT side. And that's the thing, right? If M80 would have been able to obtain that, this could have been all over so quickly. That would have been just so much real estate gain for these guys. But the fact that Danico is able to find himself that double, it's a good way to start things off. And now they're sitting at the 5-on-3. And look at this even now. They're re-aggressing into mid. They're going to have jump up onto this. Danico's still looking for more fights. So now M80, they're just starting to lose these bodies. They're not even able to find any sort of really big damage. I mean, they've done, you know, about 49 against Danico, but honestly, that's about it. Slacks has someone right beside him. There's a CT right there, and who's going to be able to win that gunfight? And Slacks will be able to shoot something through the smokes, but it's just nothing really much to brag about at all. 12 HP remaining. He's got the bomb, but again, he's got nothing to work with. He'd be lucky to get this plant, honestly, just considering he has all these CTs waiting for him. And LAZER, they're right back on the board with their first round.
Yeah, they really wanted to punish that early mid aggression from M80, and they did well to cordon that off. At that point, if you're M80 in a 3v5, you just want to go for some sort of control together and contact into a bomb site. And unfortunately for them, they get immediately smoked off that cave side, and just being holed up in the front makes things very difficult Great, again, mid-round aggression from Laser, again to go through mid and make sure that there is no escape for the T side. Again, M80 looking for that mid control, and Lake will get out, but not without losing his life. Sin is also there to fill that void. So they'll have themselves mid control, but they won't be able to really do anything with it just yet.
Yeah, and even for Laser, just kind of again back to the 3-1-1 essentially, just having Landon kind of, you know, back in CT spawn, and Laser have a really good anticipation that this could be a B hit. Now they're actually going to pull back on this, so this might be a bit of a misread in some sense, but if M80 can get the timing right, they might be able to find this site. You know, Moth is the one player to anchor things out. They still have the utility here for M80 to get the execute done. They got the one smoke, the molly, some flashes ready to go. That should be enough for them to get this plant at least, but this is going to be critical in terms of the post plant, right? I mean, this is going to be the most dicey part, because right now Slacks, you can see he's posted up on the B door, and he's in such a key position. He has to be able to get the timing right. He's already given his spot away. Now they have a full idea of where he is. Moth just going to get overwhelmed here with some utility. That bomb finally going to make it into the site. But Slack's dying this early. This is not a good note here for M80. They're starting to lose these guys. They're dropping like flies. Somebody has to pop off, and now it's just Wreck by himself. A massacre of a situation here. He has to get a 1-on-4. He's able to get this first, but can't get the connection with the Galil, and Laser, once again, will bring it back with only 2 casualties.
I was going to say it was a little bit of a risk to go for another mid-round aggression down the middle side of the map, and they used like 3 bodies to clear it out. They're giving M80 a lot more room to get through cave. They basically try to rinse and repeat the round previous, this time with an extra body, but it doesn't work out in the end. Even though they get the plant, Denoco throwing down that Molotov, stalling for time, allowing for that shelf lurk to basically emulate and formulate. It is not enough for M80 to get settled and comfortable in those post-plant positions. So overall, great mid-round protocols here from the Brazilians to try and overwhelm the T side. Now the utility set also is looking good, as M80 cannot scale up the ramp. They should basically go down with nothing. There will be no plant, and Moth gets himself a quick triple.
Yeah, it's just really good utility work coming in from Laser. Again, just, you know, that nade just crunched those guys, right? And that's the thing, like, when you don't have the armor and everything, it just stunts your movement. You get stuck. You just can't move. It's the worst feeling. But honestly, that was a bit of a meat grind around for them. They, like you said, they're just trying to get the plant down if they could, but no dice, not going to happen. But they still have enough money in the cash, or in the bank, I should say, for the AKs with the utility. So everything's looking good there. Just not going to be able to find that op that they were probably hoping for. Good smoke from Landon. I'll be utilized for B door. Should be able to land just in time. So once again, Laser kind of, you know, splitting things off, playing a little bit more passive in middle. This time they don't have the players in Donut just going for the swing. That's what we've seen quite a few different times, and that's the same thing for Lake. He was the guy that was kind of the first point of entry. He was trying to find kind of an opening. Nice little bit of a pop in the smoke here for Landon. But he will be blocked again. Will he get this timing right? He definitely will. He's going to be able to get that within that second. That is so insane.
And now M80, their woes in middle continue to haunt them. Sin trying desperately to fend something back in the T-side favor, and it's not to be. Now M80 look towards a different part of the map. They're still trying their hardest to bolster their cave offenses, but it's not happening. Finally, something goes into the favor of M80 as Sin hits a ripper of a headshot through the red room. And now the map opens up with 45 seconds left on the clock. The only question is, where do they want to finally end up here now that they've got themselves a man-even situation?
Yeah, and I mean, typically you would know that, like, most CT sides are going to, you know, just have the one player anchoring at the A site. So for M80, they should know that this B site is probably going to be a bit more, you know, heavy in terms of the opponents they have to go against. And Sin's just kind of waiting things out at A main. So it looks like the decision is, let's just go for A. Let's get this thing down. They should be able to find this. Again, there's no more utility available for the T side, so it's just going to be going into this dry, and Rex going to be able to find the lurk kill. Takes down Moth. That's a huge pickup, but now Furtada's in as well. He definitely is, and he's just a wrecking ball. He's just finding these guys single-handedly, And now this might be a save that's going to have to come through here for Laser, because they have the ult, they have the AK, and you can see W1. Yeah, he's running for the hills, man. He wants nothing to do with this. And M80, they have brought themselves right back into a tie game.
Another situation where Laser are just kind of biting on intuition there. I mean, so many leans where E-Xolos LAZER, or sorry, M80 rather, want to go into that B bomb site on a regular basis, especially showing as much presence as they do in the cave. But the difference in this round is that Sin gets that opener in middle. There is no presence in Donut, there's no presence in CT to know where the hell these T's have gone. That the wrap into A is pretty much a freebie. They don't need to smoke CT spawn because Landon's sitting all the way back, doesn't have a line into default, and M80 can just waltz their way into the site. It's just a very well called round from Sin, calling around himself in that situation to put the team in a better position. So credit to him. And now M80 have themselves an equalizing round. The problem for them though is Laser still have plenty of cash to spend through.
Yeah, they definitely do. And that's the good thing too, is like even for like someone like Landon right now, he's still sitting at 4,500. I mean, he was one of those players that was able to save his op. But now we're starting to see Sin again, just throwing the first smoke here just to block off the left-hand side. But the question is, M80, are they going to be able to find this convincingly? And so far looking like it will be. And Slacks just takes them out head by head now. So putting themselves in the 5-on-3 early on with a minute and 19. Plant's going to come through. Wreck again, just lurking in the shadows of mid, just waiting for any kind of a rotate. And look at Laser. Not even going to go for this at all. This is probably the right call, Paladin, just because look at how much control they lost so quickly.
Yeah, no, I mean, at this point, I mean, that is purely a round called from Sin as saying, we got the better individuals. We're going to get the efficient trades into the site. Let's just bully this B bomb site. And I mean, they've been showing a lot of presence on this side of the map, showing that they want to get up cave early, but they cut the BS. They just run up the ramp straight away. They rip a head off long, they rip a head off cave, and that's it. I mean, that's the round right there. You cannot retake the bomb site at all. And that shows the prowess that Slacks has even on the AK-47. He does this a lot on the T side, where he doesn't have to rely on his sniping abilities. He can get it done on that rifle.
Well, we're going to have to see. I mean, the money is now, it's becoming a little bit less existent here from the CT side. I mean, still not a bad situation, obviously. I mean, still like, you know, mid-high 2000s, but it's definitely not what it used to be. And M80 now are starting to, you know, rack in the coin a little bit. I mean, even for the following round, they're going to have enough for the op, so this is going to be important. And they're still running the 5 AKs. Now back to mid-control, we go for the CT side. And instead of it being 3 people, it is just going to be the 2. And I think W1, he's going to be close on by, and he is. He's just in this corner. He's able to get out of this. And I don't know how he's still alive, but that smoke's just going to save his life for the time being. And now M80.
What?
They are starting to lose these players. And what is going on? Even W1 took some critical damage on the toes.
This is insane. I mean, 2 kills straight through the smoke. There's a spam from the cave side and 1 from Donut. And I mean, this definitely gives a second opportunity for Laser to get back into this one. Another 3v5, more importantly, man disadvantage for M80 to dig themselves out of. And they've got next to no real space to make this a possibility. They've got this donut pressure, and they're trying to challenge Denoco. But so far, it's just going to be a little bit of damage with that grenade. 45 seconds left on the clock. And I think at this point, Laz, you just got to group up, hit a specific part of the map together, and hope that you can get some efficient trades.
Yeah, and I don't know if I love this call for going to the B site. Like you said a bit earlier, like, they love this, right? This is like their bread and butter. They're like, let's just go to the B site. Doesn't matter. We don't care how many people are here. It's I don't know if I agree with this, but you know what? Even with that flash that's coming through, Rek is still going to be able to find something. But again, we cannot ignore there's only 17 seconds remaining. The molly's going to be placed perfectly, and now Rek, he's been able to find the opening. I guess they're going to make me eat my own words. They're going to be able to get this plant down with plenty of time. Now these 2 CTs, they have a tough decision on this because, again, they don't have any, you know, utility to utilize, and they got to retreat again. So M80 are going to be able to pull the rug under them in this B site.
That's just a class round from Switcher there, just running through the ramp, even with the cave presence. That is the kill. If the Cubby player goes down, W1 has no choice but to go through that utility, or at least try to duel in that situation to avenge his fallen comrade, but it never happens. That is just star power from M80 to get themselves back into the round. You got to give credit to Rick for pulling a couple back as well. And it just does feel like M80, they're just scrapping their way through these rounds. And this is kind of what we expected, why they love Ancient so much. They can dig themselves out of man disadvantages. And it's really just a credit to how Sin likes to call. It's a looser map, and it really does just help them out.
And that kind of goes right back to the point about, you know, we were talking so much, you know, with the experience of M80 and you know, like someone like Swisher too, right? I mean, it's like we all know Swisher and he's been around forever, but, you know, that's where we, you know, even with him just sitting at a 2 and 4, but able to find that kill like that, it just opens up a round like that. Absolutely beautiful. And now for Laser, they still have the guns on the board. They still have the AWP available. I mean, that thing's been saved countless times. I've lost pretty much count of it now, but you can just see this A site's pretty much wide open in the sense of Danico is going to be in Donut. And then you have W1 just posted up in the back of Seek Spawn. Nades are just being thrown from above. W1 just getting caught a little bit on the edge. I don't know how he's able to manipulate this, but now the CTs have been able to get themselves into this fight. Can they make the connections needed? But it's not looking good. Lake's able to start things off. Another molly going to be placed, but look at W1. Not moving an inch, and he's still able to find these kills, and W1 needs to get something done, and look at all the damage he's inflicting. Now putting it into the 3 and 3, and M80, they should be able to get this plant down, but they got lots of time to work with. But now Sin with 2 HP, he's removed, Swisher remaining. Somebody that's been clutch for these guys needs to do something miraculous here. He has to be able to find himself multi-kills like that, and to get the bomb down, and that's a way to start it off. Looking for a duel in CT Spawn Paladin. He's got some time to work with. Things are not over yet. And look at Laser. They're just throwing their bodies into this 1-by-1. I don't know what's going on anymore.
How the hell did Moth just give up his life like that? Surely that should goad Swisher to a false sense of security. There's no way he's expected of Tadazin, but he misses. He misses that opportunity, and that allows for Swisher to get the plant down, meaning that Tadazin, he's now on the back foot. Swisher, this would be the 1-on-3. And what a clutch it would be in this T-half. This is the ripe opportunity for Laser to get right back into this defensive half. And still, now, Tadazin, he's made his presence known. He's picked up a kit. He's shown his hand. And he's found the necessary flick. Great conversion and a great save of face there for Tadazin. But my, oh my, what an attempt from Swisher, showing that he's still got the aim and the class to try and pull M80 over another round.
Yeah, that was so close, honestly. And I mean, if Swisher would have been able to find that, I feel like Laser would be calling the timeout right now. But despite, you know, M80 losing that round right down to the 1v1, they are just going to call the timeout for now. But I mean, there's still lots of cash. Like, you know, Rex still sitting at 8,300. So it's not really the big question of, like, you know, a gun round. It's more just, I think, kind of polishing things up a little bit. These rounds are getting pretty close for their comfort, I would imagine. But man, oh man, that was a very valiant effort from him, from Swisher, to be able to find something like that. But Op's still going to be retrieved though, Paladin. And I don't really feel like it's been that impactful so far. I know we talked about that in the pre-show about, you know, Landon and Moth, maybe, you know, the spotlight to get something moving with the big green, but I really feel like we saw that glimpse in what, like round 3, and then essentially it's been kind of non-existent.
Yeah, I mean, I think in general, Landon has not put himself in the most aggressive of positions. He's very willing to just post up and hold for a lot of these rounds, and that's totally fine. It allows for these aggressive plays like this. Moth just charging himself down the cave, opening up onto that AWP of Slacks. And Landon's counterpart will not get activated in this round, meaning M80 yet again have themselves a man's advantage. Sin trying to rip it right back into their favor. Moth offers it up, but oh my goodness, it's just bullets going right, whizzing past some of these CTs. And Laser hold on for dear life here, still in this 5v4. There's a lot of time to play with for M80, and while all this is happening, Lake's trying to make a play. Makes his way all the way up through the middle portion and wants to maybe get into the red room or maybe even Donut.
Yeah, he made a bit of a noise cue though, but Danico Now in a bit of a tight spot. Does have the A4. Look at that
Whoa.
strike control, man. He's able to find that double in the worst position, really. I thought he was a dead man walking, but instead, he's just got a bounty against these guys. Takes them all down. Wreck by himself. He's got the shadow to spot things out, but it's not even going to matter at all. And Laser brought things back into a tie game, only losing one player. Man, oh man. Paladin, this is not the way I thought this was going to go.
Yeah, I mean, M80, they're kind of running out of steam in a lot of senses. They're trying hard to pressure very specific points of the map. They're trying to pressure Donut as much as possible, and they're trying to pressure Cave as possible. And so far, Laser are playing as passive as ever, giving them that space that's necessary, and then retaking it when it matters most. I mean, you have a player sitting back in the back of Brokey. You've got a player sitting on Donut as well deep. And they've got these crossfires that are just really helping out for them as far as these late rounds are going. In M80, they're just trying to bolster them, trying to bury their way into the round just through sheer openers. And they're not coming as hopeful as they want it to come through. So now the question is, can Sin drum up a round here that relies a little bit more on the positioning of these players rather than their brawn, so to speak?
Well, look at that spam too. That, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, I think that was actually from Sin too. So he actually was able to make some really good damage against Moth. Like, so now he's down to 18. So not a bad way to start this off with the minute remaining though. But once again, you got the 3 players in this B site. Rex trying everything in his power to be able to find this duel, but they're doing the damage. They're just not able to get the job done. So it's almost like 90% of the work's getting done, but just not that last 10%. Now they're trying to do everything. There's a bit of an opening, and Rex able to find something, but no, a TK! Oh no, W1 takes down Maul. This is not what you need. Not in this kind of chaos, but W1 maybe to redeem himself a little bit. Wreck down to, what, 8 HP. Comes in for a swing. He's going to be able to get taken out, but Slacks is there to help him. And man, it's once again down to these one-on-one situations. M80 have guaranteed potentially a 6 and 6 half, maybe. I have no idea. But now look at the money situation for the CT side, Paladin. It is hit a dumpster. It is hit ground zero.
Yeah, unfortunately for them, Laser just getting caught in the chaos there. A team kill is not what you needed to fix that up. And now, as you mentioned, dumpster fire of a buy. And it's got to be down to W1 to try and pick up the pieces. Default spread for M80 as they leave the spawn. Again, leaning very heavily on this B take, but look at late go, man. 2 entries on that A bomb site, and he's just single-handedly ripped open an opening here on this A site.
And look at how fast these CTs bid on it too, right? I mean, you can see, I think that's actually landing right here, and then you also have W1 that are kind of posted up close on this, but there is some information from, yeah, that's the thing though, like they're not even close. So for M80, this is an easy take. This is an easy site for them to have control of, unless we see something insane here from Lando with that MP9. But again, I mean, this utility is not going to make it easy for him, and it should be the free plant that's coming in. E-Xolos LAZER now making themselves into this presence, but man, oh man, they got their work cut out for them. That's not going to help them, but Lake, at least he's able to find some damage on something. But look at the positioning from M80. They definitely have everything lined up. Sin's just getting everything done here with the Galil. And there it is. It's going to be a 7-5 to the first half. We're going to finish things off and get ready for the second half after this break. See you in a little bit. All right, well, I told you it'd be a short break, and we're finally ready to go. It's going to be the first best of one. Second half now, as we saw M80 getting themselves a 7-5 to transition over to this, and now they're going to be on the CT side. And Paladin, how you feeling after that first one?
Yeah, I think E-Xolos LAZER showed that they have what it takes to at least go toe-to-toe, but it was nothing insane to say that M80 were being outclassed in any situation. At this point, individually, they still look very hot. Lake having a couple rounds for himself to open up the map in the later stages. Wreck on the lurking on the other side, on the B side, looked good. And of course, you had a couple big rounds in terms of the openings from Swisher and Sin. So there's a lot to like about this M80 squad individually. And now they're on their favorite side. They're on this defense. And now you can have plays like this to come forward with Swisher getting a quick double on those dual Berettas. W1 is going to try to take matters into his own hands with this P250, but he can't finish the job against Lake. And that should be everything done and dusted for this pistol, especially considering you've got a flank brewing in Wreck very quickly before they can even get this bomb down.
Yeah, I mean, Sin was trying to, I was going to say, Wreck, maybe he might be dead, and Lake, he actually just goes for the re-swing, and okay, you know what? It's a flawless round, but 4 HP, 1 HP, 10 HP. Like, man, these guys took some damage, but it's all good. Crisis averted. They're feeling good. They got themselves the opening round, and honestly, not a bad way to start things off, right? I mean, this is, the pistol round can really just get that momentum built. I mean, for M80, definitely a team that, their T side is probably more historically better for them, but not to take away their CT side can be, pretty scary as well, because I don't really know, like, in terms of E-Xolos LAZER, how much we're going to see from the T side, just comparison to that competition that we talked about before. But now it's Wreck to find himself maybe a highlight reel in this kind of a moment. He's got the MP9 Molly ready to go. No utility here. It's just going to be straight Glocks. And yeah, Paladin is looking like a little bit of a meat grinder, but they might be able to get this bomb down. Unless we just see Slacks just disrespecting them, and yeah, that's exactly what they're going to do.
Yeah, just in the nick of time to deny that plant. That is pretty much the best situation there for M80. They only dropped that 1 MP9 and get to keep their money up as well. This is a situation, if you are the favorites of M80, you just want to close this game out right here, right now. You're 4 rounds away from securing your first map victory here in Season 48, and there's not going to be many opportunities for LAZER to climb back into this game. This is one of those rounds and one of those opportunities for them. And we'll see what they have cooking up here. 4-player lean onto that B bomb site straight away as W1 tries to get a little bit of control to vie for here a little bit later. But unfortunately for them, it's not enough. Sin is all the way up through shelf, and so is Lake, not too far behind. And while all this is happening, though, LAZER side has also just claimed themselves the B-bomb site.
Yeah, look at how close they are. No, Sin, no, he doesn't check his 6, but the smoke decimates at the worst time for him. But okay, so now M80, they've lost 2 players pretty quickly, and they're not able to find any sort of conversion here to get the duels. So this is surely going to be the moment they just save these. Like, look at these players. They're both one on the top of the map, one on the bottom of the map. So I mean, these guys are both spawns. Yeah, they ain't even trying anything right now. But honestly, not a bad round from LAZER. I mean, a pretty easy take. And even Slock's not able to save this gun. So this is not a good note, but it should be an easy one for Wreck. But I do like that LAZER, once again, we're able to find those opening duels. They found Swisher at a really good moment. I wish Swisher would have been able to stay alive a bit longer, because he was kind of tucked in the corner there. But honestly, it's a good thing here for the Brazilian fans. They get themselves in still this close scoreline.
Yeah, a lot of solid aggression from M80, trying to get involved down lane before they can get into that bomb site. But I don't know, it just never really like leads into anything. Especially as you said, Swisher going down early on that B bomb site means it's under defended. There's nothing to stall out that aggression, and it just kind of comes crumbling down. They still have one more buy here, M80, but it's not that pretty of one. They've got 3 SMGs to try to get them over the line. And right now, Sin is going through the ringer and then some. Dueling with Dinoco, and unfortunately for Dinoco, he cannot get the punish. Swisher is here to see if he can finish off the job. And Sin will actually just do it straight through the smoke, sure. But this is all a ruse. This is all a fake. E-Xolos LAZER want to bite down on this A site, and they've got the resources to definitely say it as much. But look at the kill. Slacks Lake doubling down, and now it's just W1 in the clutch. The contact play does not work out for the Brazilian side. And unfortunately, I don't think this is a clutch that I can really paint together for W1.
Yeah, definitely not looking favorable. But again, I mean, this is an opportunity where he's been able to make it across. So this is the thing too, is that Sin, I don't think he expects this. He will not, but oh my goodness, he's still able to turn around and be able to find that engagement. So, all right, M80 now putting themselves at 10. And you know, it's kind of surprising. I don't know if this was, you know, caught to you too, but I've noticed a lot that Lake seems to be the one player on this team that's taking the weaker guns, if you want to call it that. He seems to be the guy that's like pistoling up, having that utility, kind of being that first point, or like that last round, it was him with an MP9 versus some of his teammates with M4s. It's different than what I was expecting.
Yeah, I think they're giving a lot more room to players like Rek as well to try and flex his muscles a little bit more, and I don't mind it. He's a very capable rifler. We've seen what he can do in star rifling roles, and yeah, why not share the duties of being a star between the two of them? Right now, damage though for Rek, significant damage at that, 4 HP to his name, and Sin is not able to connect these wallbangs as well as he'd hoped. So M80 in the very early goings of this round have not gotten the results that they were looking for. And the other side of the equation, LAZER are starting to get a little bit more space. They've got themselves lane and a little bit of A main control as well. So they've got a real bit of time to try and see what they want to do. What a shot from Dinoco to just barrel his way into cave.
Yeah, I love this though. I love that, you know, again, LAZER, they're just not being intimidated. They're just kind of re-aggressing for this and really just sticking it to them, right? I mean, that's important. And that's what we, you know, we're kind of alluding to in the beginning of the pre-show, saying like, look, you guys got to be making a bit more decisive decisions and going for these fights. But maybe I was going to say Rek might be able to find himself that good opener, and that's going to be a good way to bring into things back into the 4-4. But now we're talking about 29 seconds, right? I mean, the bomb still has to get picked up here. That's going to be for Landon. W1 just getting himself into red room. We have the cross here from Rek. He's critically low. So, I mean, unless he gets the perfect timing on this, which he will not, he's going to go down. Now the jig is up, but there's only 14 seconds, so they have to get going. They need to do something here. They got to go. They're running out of options. They're running out of time. And look at Swisher. Swisher's here, and he's able to just take them out. And that's going to be another round gain for M80. E-Xolos LAZER, they lose control of the time management.
That's an ugly round. I mean, you can see the idea that's brewing there for the Brazilians. They're trying to lurk their way into that A bomb site. First, it's Moth. He goes down instantaneously. And then you've got that second player to come through. But the idea and the pacing of it all takes way too long. They're trying so hard to get down into Red Room. And once they do get that opener, you're thinking the A bomb site's open, but the bomb is still stuck in lane. There's no time to make the mid-round decision to barrel their way in. And you saw that little bit of indecision with them on that lane side, that they just got to go charging through the smoke, and Swisher makes the exact play necessary to close it out. Now, in this 11-6 scoreline, the Brazilians have laid all of their chips down in the center of the table, and they just want to claim this next round to stay alive here. But unfortunately, Laz, they're not being given any room.
Yeah, there's no room at all. And even Rek, you know, with him getting caught here with the positioning, it's not even matter. Look at what he's able to do. And these guys are just running into a blender. They're all done. Leaving it just down to W1 with a scout in hand. Taking on 5 players. Yeah, I think it's a matter of time before he meets his destiny here. And he's a dead man. And now we see map point is going to be on the docket here for M80, but I don't know. You know, Paladin, I'm still kind of scratching my head on that from LAZER. I was thinking they should have probably taken the timeout. I don't know if I love that purchase. And I don't know about you, but I really didn't like the purchase with the scout. Like I said earlier, I don't feel like the sniper has been really the ingredient they need in this.
No, definitely not the case. I mean, at this point, it does feel like a mental collapse in that sense when they have all the space in the world to shut down a round in the one before this, and when that goes out of your favor, it does feel very damning to the result of this map so far, and the Laser side kind of just made a lax move to go for that purchase, and now they're gonna have another week bye moving into this match point situation for M80. You've got a couple Mac 10s purchased for both Moth and what looked like Dinoco, but he'll purchase into a Galil. A couple of rifles in that sense, but nothing to really smile about if you are the Brazilian side. M80 kind of favored in all senses of the word. Rek has stepped up on that A side. Lake has shown a lot of promise, and Swisher has answered the call of duty when necessary.
No, definitely, and I'm glad you brought that up, because I think for Lake, like, he was somebody that, I feel like on the T side, he wasn't really getting his rhythm. He wasn't really able to find those openers, but again, he was kind of putting himself in those positions where, you had the pistols and he's trying to just, find engagements in mid. So now it's definitely a bit of a different picture here on the CT side. Sin getting close here with the spams, not able to find it. Rek might be able to get an easy kill. He actually won't even be him. It's going to be Lake, and but okay, at least he's going to be able to find that little bit of a 180, get that kill. He finally gets taken out. So now the Mac 10s, the Tech 9s, they're starting to put themselves in a conversation here. It's a 3-3. The bomb's still in their control. They still got to pick it up at least, but again, they can work with something here, pal. And they got 2 rifles in their hands. They got the armor, so they don't have to worry about aim punch. And they got some time. The options are a little bit open right now.
Yeah, they're trying really hard to aggress and punish the aggression in middle, and they do so. So they are rewarded with this 3v3 that can work out, and they're grouping up to go at the big man Swisher. He hasn't had the craziest game, but every time they've come to his site, he's been able to answer what E-Xolos LAZER have posed. This time he plays a little bit more passively, giving that bomb site over. And does he even know that they're all the way encroached on this bomb site? Not necessarily, but Landon will still give up a kill. And now that kind of sends the alarm bells ringing for this Brazilian side. They don't know where to go. They're just completely indecisive. And with 20 seconds left on the clock, they've got to make a decision.
Yeah, they got to do something now. Like, they can't even turn back if they wanted to. They have just wasted way too much time. They can't make that choice. And look at that. Now things get a little bit awkward. And there it is. It's going to be the man Swisher to lock things down here with the triple kill to get themselves done here for the first best of 1. And M80, they're going to show themselves that first ECL win. They're going to look pretty dominant from previous tournaments they were at. And honestly, it was a little bit, bumpy in the first half, but it felt like as soon as they got onto the CT side, it was a very different story.
Yeah, I think on the T side, you can still see that